Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about is spelling. So spelling is going to be a little interesting. um, so, like I said before, I like to save on paper. Um, Next week, okay, let me start over. On Mondays, I have them do a certain kind of worksheet. And off the top of my head, I believe it's a Fix My Mistakes worksheet. I wasn't planning on giving them that one or Tuesday spelling, which is I Spy. I won't be doing that this week. I was planning on doing it next week anyway, since they weren't going to get their new list until this Wednesday. So I'm only going to give you the stuff for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then the roll a word. And I kind of want to show this to you guys now just so you have an idea of what it looks like. So on Wednesdays, we do rainbow words. And if you can see, it's hot pink. It's inside the page protector. And so they get their list, and they just write the word 3 times, each word 3 times. It says use different colors. They have the choice. They can use dry erase markers and write it on here. They can also grab notebook paper and write it with markers. I let them be as creative as they want. It makes it more fun that way. And so they tend to remember it a little bit more. But Wednesdays, it's rainbow words, and I want them to do different colors. However, with the way things are, and I don't want to send home all sorts of markers and things getting lost and not lasting a long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send these home with notebook paper and their list. Okay, this week some kids have A, some kids have B. I have 3 other kids that are on different lists, and they will get their own list as well. And honestly, for Wednesdays and Thursdays, these can stay home. I don't need to have these back yet. At some point, obviously, I'm going to want these back to save on this stuff, but they can just use these at home just to practice. So I don't need these back right now. On Thursdays, we do Choose Your Practice, and they write each word 3 times, be as creative as you desire. Some kids just want to write them all out in black. I don't care. Some kids like to draw pictures and put the words inside of them. Some kids need a challenge for themselves, and they'll write a sentence with the words in them. As long as they write each word 3 times, I don't care how they do it. So you'll also be getting this with notebook paper if you want to use some. You guys have bought notebook paper for the school year. I have tons of it, so I'll send a bunch home. So each week it'll just be the same list for now, and it's just for them to practice because obviously I can't do a spelling test. But again, this stuff will stay home, but at some point, I'll let you know when. I do want these 2 things back, the pink and the page protector and the bright green page protector. And the kids should already know, but in case you ever wondered, so these sea creatures is actually, like, I have my baskets labeled, and so they know, okay, I need to make sure if this is me, I put this in the basket that has the hammerhead shark. So I have these 3 different spelling lists. So they put these in that basket. So you don't really need to worry about these sea creatures. That's just for classroom use. And then I like to put little icons on here to help them remember. Usually with pink, they know it's rainbow words, but then they also have that rainbow there to remember. Plus, I explain it to them every time. And then Bob the Builder, Choose Your Practice, you're building your words. I was trying to be creative there. So anyway, those just stay home. Do with them what you want. If you want them to write on dry erase markers, if you want them to write on, if you need a back massage and need them to just write the words on your back 3 times, go for it. I'm leaving that to you guys. Word search. This is pretty important. Usually I have the kids that don't get their spelling done before recess. They have to do it during recess anyway. But if they don't get it done, but by the end of the week on Friday, if they got all their spelling done before recess, the whole week, then on Fridays they don't have to do word search. But my thought process is, since they're not turning in this, I would like for them to actually turn this in this time around. And word search, it's pretty fun. They like them anyway. So there's the words are at the bottom. They know how to do this. If they need help with a word here and there, that's absolutely fine. So as long as they don't get help for all the words, not a big deal. The other thing that I wanted to go over, oop, and I forgot to grab my dice, but you know what dice looks like. Anyway, so we have what's called roll a word. And inside the page protectors, you're going to notice there's several papers in here. Please, please, please do not write on them. Do not lose them. I mean, if you lose them, I can make more copies, but, you know, trying to save on paper. And each roll a word is set up where they roll a die and they write that special sound on the line and they figure out if it makes a word or not. And if it does make a word, they use a dry erase marker to color it in. And if it doesn't make a word, they just don't color it in. So for instance, let's say they roll a 1, as, and so they write es, es, mes, not a word. Okay, but let's say they roll a 2 and they write ILD. The special sound is ILD, ILD, mild. That's a word. So you fill it in. So that's pretty self-explanatory. They know how to do this. Now, since you guys are going to have these for a while, I guess, I don't know. But there's several in here. So if your kiddo wants to switch these out and say, you know what, I'm going to do 7.1 and then do it. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Just don't lose the papers. Make sure that they keep them in there. I might, depending on how long this is going to last, I might send him more to put in the page protectors to kind of mix it up. But again, just like the pink and the green, I don't need these back until whenever this is done. So I'll also be sending home dice, and it'll be in a plastic container with dice inside. And some of them are kind of falling apart. It's about time for me to replace them. But I'll just send them home in the plastic containers. I do that so that the dice don't get all over the floor and it becomes a lovely little thing. So if the containers break, please don't worry about it. The dice, you know, I mean, it would be nice if they got replaced, if things got broken. But honestly, the dice and the containers I get them from the dollar store. And I get like bulk of them because, you know, kids, they're going to break plastic stuff. It happens. So that stuff can stay home and use your discretion. If you want to look at it to see if they made the words, great. I don't need these back, but at least they'll get that practice in. And so that is all of the phonics stuff. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to send home each spelling list. Like obviously we have kids that I've already done the pre-test before break. So I have some kids on A, some kids on B, and then the other 2 lists. So those are split up. But next week, when I normally do a spelling test or pre-test, I might just send home both lists A and B and just let them have at it. I don't know. We'll just kind of take it one week at a time. And as always, just let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye-bye.